You know, Bill, still, we're live. We're live right now.
Oh, I forgot my
It's my favorite time of the week. Epic Cash Live on Friday. Bill, I don't even know what day it is. It is the 20th. Bill, still, we're live. We're live right now.
Oh,
Hey,
I forgot my
if it wasn't good, the intro wasn't good the first time, it sure as heck sounded great the second time. Sorry about that. Had to mute. Everyone, I am Uncle Vigilante. Call me Uncle V. Just don't call me late for dinner. Okay, everyone, hit that like button, okay? Share this. Let people know that we're live. Any Epic Cash members, please drop a link to this live stream in all the appropriate channels. I thank you. I hope we get a bunch of people here because we have an amazing guest right now, a famous guest. You are looking at Bill Still, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Still is a legend. He produced Money Masters. What is Money Masters? The history of money up to a certain time. We'll talk about that. The history of money. I mean, there was no series that was ever better on helping us understand what money actually is. What are the keys to effective money? And he knows it all. And we're going to unpack that today. His Money Masters series, which you can find on YouTube. You just plug in Money Masters and it will pop up. And ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. Go back to the very first one and binge watch it. You'll be smarter than 99.9% of the rest of the people walking around on this planet. And Bill Still, I just have one question.
Yeah.
What did you do with my tally sticks? You were supposed to. I give you my car. You were supposed to give me tally sticks. I don't have any tally sticks.
I went over to the Bank of England and that guy, John, what's his name, who is the head of the director of the Bank of England Museum, apologized, but he said back in the mid 1800s, the revenge of the tally sticks came into play. And, for years and years, they tried to burn all the tally sticks. And the people who knew what tally sticks were good for fought it for about 50 years. And finally, the bad guys won out. And so they decided to start burning the tally sticks in the basement of the Parliament building. And the tally sticks got revenge. They got too hot. It burned the entire Parliament to the ground.
Whoa, that's an awesome story. Okay, so I'm confused. Can you treat me? This is going to be really, my audience is going to say that'll be easy because, treat me like I'm, in second grade. Can you teach me as a second grader, what is money according to Bill Still?
A medium of exchange.
Mm-hmm.
That has fought for thousands of years, I think it might be safe to say, to be a private thing. And it rarely succeeds.
Okay.
It succeeded in Roman times. It succeeded for 600 years, making the one of the smaller islands in the world the country that dominated the seas.
Okay.
That would be England.
So is money, in my mind, as I'm understanding it, because folks who are watching, they're kind of into Epic Cash, Epic private internet cash. And, some people who may not be crypto savvy or whatever, when you talk about perhaps one day Epic Cash being a world reserve currency even, they're like, what's Epic Cash? And how could it ever be considered money? Isn't it true? And I want to talk about seashells and tally sticks, but isn't it true that money really is what parties agree it is? It's
right. What the average person agrees, or a non-sovereign king demands to be used as a medium of exchange.
Okay, so
However, it's centralized, comes from a centralized source like a king. then it turns out badly, and inevitably the sovereign fails. And whenever it actually rises as a populism type of deal, it succeeds wildly, just as it did in colonial America, just as it did from 1100 AD to the mid 1700s in England.
That's a good run.
And yeah, well, I mean, what's the longest, speaking of run, what's the longest running money in the history of the United States?
The longest running money in the history of the United States.
I won't embarrass you. I'll tell you.
Okay, thank you.
It's not the Federal Reserve note. It's what preceded the Federal Reserve note, which is the United States note. The only difference, the United States note is still good for the payment of taxes. The only difference, I can't pull out a United States note in 10 seconds. Amazing.
No problem.
Is the U.S. note has a red seal, and the Federal Reserve note has a green seal. Other than that, it says United States note at the top instead of Federal Reserve note.
Hey, Bill, somebody's going to ask, you did that and that. Are you a Mason? I know the answer. No and hell no, but I just had to give you a hard time.
I had Masonry in my family, and I was expected to join Freemasonry when I turned 21. And so I went down to the teacher, and he gave me, all the paperwork and all this stuff. And I was already a budding Christian. I was the only one in my family that went to church. And so I'd get on my bicycle in Southern California and ride down to the church. And I didn't really understand it, but I just had a leading, that
That's
was
amazing.
where I wanted to go. And I forgot where I was going with that story.
No problem.
Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Freemasonry. So I kind of had a notion of what was good and what was bad, and I asked my Masonic teacher, I've heard that Freemasonry, you have to swear, you have to take a blood oath to kill people if you reveal the secrets. And I said, I don't think Jesus would like that.
That's awesome.
Had never had that thrown in his face. And he goes, well, we take some oaths, but they're just, it's just part of our old practice, and it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took his thing back, and I took it home, looked at it, said $100. You had to pay $100. I went, no, I'm not doing it. That changed my life.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine $100 back then would be probably $1,000 today, if not more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm 115, and so that was.
So when you were given those examples of money that had a good run, can you share what those are? Just what some of the examples are that served as good money for an extended period of time?
Well, in Great Britain, it was the tally stick. The tally stick was designed specifically by Henry I in 1100 AD, because he was actually a very populist king, probably the most populist monarch ever.
Yeah.
And he was tired of his entire population of his domain essentially living in serfdom. And so he designed a type of money that the average person could use and would not be hoarded by the goldsmiths. The goldsmiths were running a little scam back then, where they'd take your gold in deposit, and they'd give you a little slip of paper so that you could trade with it. That's
right.
A little IOU basically, and you could trade. It was good for the payment of taxes to the king, and that's what people traded with, even smaller denominations. And so the king didn't like that, so he decided he would break the back of the goldsmiths. Now, my biggest advertiser is a gold dealer, and so I don't mean those guys. I mean the people who cheated the system.
Yeah, basically, wasn't it the Rockefellers who kind of had a lock on that? Or not Rockefellers, it was the, what was the other family that kind of started it all over in France and England, to where...
Rothschilds.
Yes, Rothschilds. Thank you. Thank you.
So
All right.
anyway,
I interrupted you. Sorry.
he essentially broke the back of the goldsmiths because they could no longer cheat the system and print money themselves for their own benefit. And so that's tally sticks were very popular. And that single thing was what propelled this little teeny island with not very many resources to become the greatest power in the world.
Can you describe what a tally stick is? I mean, to me, I'm like, man, if it's
Well,
a big,
they range from about so size with little saw marks in it to denote the denomination to the biggest one they had was that I held up in the Money Masters and The Secret of Oz was one about this long, maybe about 6 feet long. And
Okay.
that it represented a mortgage payment, a mortgage. It was worth
An entire mortgage.
25,000 British pounds.
Okay. Okay. And so people would just carry these things around in their pocket like they do change?
Just like today. I mean, they'd be about the size of your little finger.
And it'd be made out of wood?
Yeah, it was just made out of a wood that didn't tend to deteriorate. I forget the type of wood. And they would make little marks on it with a saw, and that would depict the denomination. And when the king creates them, he would split it in half. And of course, a piece of wood splits in half very uniquely. And if you were ever caught, trying to spend a fake tally stick,
I was going to ask.
Off of your head.
I was going to ask because I'm like, wood.
It was a capital
Seems
offense.
like that would be easy to,
Yeah, but back in those days, it's just like the difference between urban living today in the United States and living in the countryside. You have to drive half an hour to a store or whatever, but still the mores of the population there is entirely different. It's back to where it was like when we were kids.
Right.
In other words, a very small population doesn't move around much. And so if you get a bad reputation, you're sunk. And so people value the reputation.
Hold on, everybody. 19 watching, 18 likes. Good job. Good job. So Bill, let's talk about, what are the keys to effective forms of money in your mind? We have done a series, it's called The Quest for Superior Money, to where we compared Bitcoin to Epic Cash, to gold, to Federal Reserve notes, to CBDCs. And, came up with, I think it was 30 attributes or whatever. But what in your experience are the keys to creating something that would have an effective form of money? And the reason why I'm asking is I just kind of want to back into Epic Cash to see if it might serve those forms.
I've seen that document and I can't improve on it.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry to be like an epic idiot, but I've tried to read up on it, but I spend most of my time doing my own vids, and that's what I've got to do. Ever since I got booted off of YouTube,
right,
I've got to work really hard just to stay above water.
Okay, stop right there, because I want everybody, because sometimes people have a short attention span and may not make it to the end of the video. So to heck with talking about how people get in touch with you, how people can support you, how they can get on your newsletter, how they can see your videos, how they can buy whatever, your books. Can you just give a little infomercial right now, Bill, so that everyone knows how to?
Billstill.com. It's a pretty easy address. And I'm actually sneaking on YouTube through my wife's channel.
Nice.
You can still catch me on there. But when they booted me, I had 177,000 subscribers, and now I have in the hundreds. So
yeah, okay. If you DM me what your new YouTube channel is, or your wink wink channel is, I'll include that in the show notes, as well as billstill.com. And everybody, please go to billstill.com and try to, just buy something. You might learn something. buy something maybe for your kids to be able to give them, a head start on monetary reform, monetary policy, the history of money. Read it to your young kids as a bedtime story. Bill, that
Well, I'm telling you, Uncle, I don't think I can improve on anything you all have done.
okay,
Everything I've seen is superior to in basic theory to what I've done. So just
okay.
go to Epic and support it. That's the best thing you can do.
Okay, well, that's high praise coming from you, Bill. Thank you for that. We worked hard on that on that list of attributes, and I think we did a good job of comparing everything. At the end of the day, Epic actually checked every box, and we really we weren't just leading the witness here. We had real strong debate on each one of those. And it was very interesting exercise. We did not check every box. The box we didn't accept or check was widespread adoption, but that's going to be changing because not sure if you're up on my videos, but or live streams, but Mike Adams, the Ranger, the Health Ranger, he is integrating Epic Cash into his entire ecosystem empire, and he will be accepting Epic Cash for all of his goods and services, which is amazing. And then there's just going to be a domino effect of his suppliers and vendors and those he deals with externally. He's just a great enthusiastic evangelist of Epic Cash after a really long 2-month deep dive, and his Brighteon platform is amazing. Now, Bill, I will tell you, he is working on being able to live stream, and I think that tech is probably about a month away. But as soon as I can live stream to Brighteon, I will be pivoting from YouTube to Brighteon in that platform because it is censorship free. It is decentralized. It's amazing. And I can speak to Mike on your behalf. And I think it would be great for you to get a channel on Brighteon as well. Nobody will ever be able to screw with you again, Bill.
Yeah, I think I already have a password that they've been up for several years, as I remember.
Okay, great. So you already, okay, fine. Yeah, because look, we have to escape the claw of what I call the Druid Babylonian bastards. I'd like to rewind if I could. I think you and I share the same worldview in that, this world or our history, I submit that we don't know even a tiny percent of it. I think this world goes back eons. And I believe that there is a spiritual war out there, literally between good and evil. And I do believe in Genesis 6, and Genesis 6 tells us that, there are fallen angels that way back when, were kicked out of heaven, and now they populate the earth, and they're still here today. Now, we can't see them. Some people out there might go cuckoo, but look, it's my world
The
too.
Bible says Satan rules the earth, so that's unfortunate. But it's
Yeah,
true.
that's right. So I
Do our
can't.
best to undo that, and we can
Yeah,
do our best to prevent the coming destruction that's to come, and try to save as many souls as we can, before it all falls apart. But you can see it falling apart at
yes.
speed. What Biden might be able to accomplish in the next 2 years is frightening.
Yeah, it's very frightening. So I posit that the Druid Babylonian bastards go back eons, and they're really good at this stuff. They hate everything that God created. All of God's creation, they want to destroy it. But they don't have all the power. There are some good guys out there too. I think you're one of them, Bill. And but I just know that one of the tools that these DBBs wield is money. And and they especially want to attack private money. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, I've never seen anything since the Money Master was in its heyday in the late 90s. I've never seen a group of people so dedicated around the correct core principles.
Thank you.
So, and I've gone for, supported maybe 3 or 4 coins in my life, and they all eventually toppled.
Mhm.
But the reason I was in them was because they made these similar promises, and so I've kind of
Yeah.
tiptoed into Epic Coin very lightly. Is this
Right.
really to be worth my time, or is this just going to be another thing I'm going to be embarrassed about?
Right. Yeah, because it's not insignificant when you endorse something, and not saying you've endorsed Epic Cash at all, but because you have your subscriber base, and I imagine they hang on your every word. And so it's like, if I were you, I would feel a great responsibility for anything that comes out of my mouth that might induce others to be able to act. So I totally respect your cautious optimism on it, and I just hope that as you continue to learn, that we earn your respect enough to where there would be an endorsement as Epic Cash being superior money and superior private money. But I want to talk about the Druid Babylonian bastards' attack on privacy. What pisses them off so much about privacy that they are forcing these central bank digital currencies down our throats? And what is the impact, Bill, based upon your point of view, of what the real purpose of these CBDCs?
I'm all about decentralization of power at every level of governance, and CBDC is just the ultimate center. It's the devil itself coming to control our every action. And as far as endorsing Epic, I endorse Epic right now.
Oh, wow.
Until further notice.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. That's a cautious yes, everyone. Well, thank you. This is breaking news, folks. Bill Still on the Uncle Vigilante channel endorses Epic Cash.
I just don't see anything. I see everything right about it. I mean, you've constructed core principles that are exactly right, that you're building off of. I want it to be true.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you know what? We're going to tirelessly work to continue to push this undiscovered boulder up the hill together as a community and make it true, make it last. It is true already. It was true the day it was launched, and that it was fair launch. The tech is the tech, and it's always going to be the tech. And we like to say Epic is for everyone. So you and I don't have to agree on everything, Bill. I don't have to agree with anyone else. It's like Epic Cash doesn't care if you're black, white, tall, short, speak English or don't. Epic Cash is just the tech that is the backbone of superior private money. And I believe that it is our
decentralized money.
It's decentralized finance, decentralized money. And I believe privacy, Bill, is our God-given right. You?
Right, absolutely.
Because think about it. What these DBBs do, everyone, is they try to paint privacy with a negative brush, right? And if you just logically play it out, it sounds something like this. It's time to go to bed. I go to my bedroom, the blinds are open. I want to get out of this Epic Cash t-shirt and get into my nighttime Epic Cash jammies. And so I want to take off this shirt. You guys don't want to see it. You'll never be able to unsee it. And so what do I do first? I close the blinds for privacy, right? Bill, does that mean that I'm doing something nefarious behind these blinds?
No, not at all. The American Revolution really got kicked off when the British did what? When the British told the Americans that they could no longer use what later was called the United States note. It was just, we were simply printing our own money. And so then the Brits came in and demanded that we start paying our taxes only in gold coin. And of course, the colonies had no gold coin at that point.
Okay.
And so we had no choice but to say, okay, we're leaving.
Wow. That's fascinating. Wow. So now these same DBBs are going to be saying that you're only going to be able to pay your taxes with a central bank digital currency, I imagine.
Right.
What do you think? Right?
Right.
And if you don't, then
you can't trade, you can't buy or sell. And they're going to try to put that through. And so this is the ultimate challenge of a populist revolt that, Trump epitomized. You still there?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So these CBDCs, to me, if I'm trying to connect some dots and I close my eyes, I just see a bunch of slaves. Am I right about that? Isn't that the purpose of CBDCs, to turn us all into slaves?
Not only the CBDC. I mean, everything that Biden and company is after, or Obama and company, whatever.
Yeah. I think he's still right.
Is to overly centralize power to an even greater degree, to the point where we are literally all slaves, to the point where that's why they're attacking on motherhood itself, because soon we'll be able to cook up our own babies in test tubes, and we won't need any of these women having to go through the pains of labor. We won't need any family structures anymore. All the babies will come out of test tubes. This is what's coming, and they'll all be little obedient slaves.
Do you think they'll be able to manufacture whether it's a boy or girl?
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah.
Well, if they do, then when that little boy or girl is born from a test tube, shouldn't we begin to take them to Target and start having transgender discussions? Because maybe they're not really a boy, even though they created as a boy.
That's just the Chi-Coms trying to get us all riled up about stuff that doesn't matter. That's all they're trying to do. When the real things that matter is the Chi-Coms are building up their army and they're ready to go. And now they're coming across the southern border. They're flying them into Venezuela from Iran and China. They're giving them passports like they're legit Venezuelan citizens, and they're running them up and across the border. And Biden even has a special camp for them.
Wow. That was a knowledge drop, everyone. And this is Bill Still saying it. The guy has sources, right? So, I hang on your every word. I believe you. By the way, I just
from General Mike Flynn.
You what?
That comes from General Mike Flynn.
Okay. I think he probably
is an authoritative source, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's right. Real quick before I forget, I know there folks in the community are in here. Hey, everyone in the chat. Hope you have if you're in the United States, I hope you have a long holiday weekend. But I do want to just give a couple updates. One is just a humble brag on Telegram this morning. This really hot chick said hello to me in my DMs. So, I don't know if there's a there, but Uncle V, she was really hot too.
I'm sorry, the Telegram is loaded with that trash.
What?
Half of them aren't even women.
You mean it was a bot and I shouldn't?
I'm sorry to tell you.
All right, guys, this was Bill Still. It's been nice talking to you, Bill. No, that's just, I'm having some fun. I know we don't need to say it very often, but those, you don't even open them, you swipe left and delete them, because nothing good comes from that. The other thing I want to share with everyone is CoinStore is supposed to be integrating the 31st, as is Change Now. And I just want to say that Change Now, we are really confident in. CoinStore, there's just a translation issue because they're from South Korea and their whole dev team, none of them speak English. So they have someone in marketing that's trying to translate. When you're trying to translate tech, it's just kind of like going past each other. So that's a little bit frustrating. I'm just saying, everyone, if it doesn't happen on the 31st, which it probably won't, don't get concerned or whatever. Personally, I'm just jazzed about change now.
You're talking about the link between Epic Cash and USD
For change now?
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm not telling.
Yeah, what change now will allow us to do ultimately. And by the way, everyone, don't have the false expectation that we're going to be able to have buy and sell and swap on Epic Pay app. Not the case. That takes time and money for Diego and his team to be able to integrate that and modify the UI. It will come, but it's not going to be out of the blocks. But you'll be able to go to changenow.io and you will be able to buy Epic Cash with no KYC. And if you do want to off-ramp into your bank account or on-ramp, you can do that, because behind Change Now is Gardarian. They're partners. Gardarian is the one that you would be able to ultimately hook your bank account up to, and be able to on-ramp fiat and off-ramp fiat. But out of the blocks, you'll be able to use your credit card or debit card, and you'll be able to acquire Epic Cash, not acquire BTC to exchange for Epic Cash. You'll be able to buy Epic Cash. Game changer. LFG. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. And then Change Now is so far ahead of everybody else in the industry as far as already being, integrated with the Shopifys of the world and such. So they have these plugins all over the place, making it easy for merchants to be able to accept crypto, their portfolio of crypto and private crypto. And Mike Adams has it right. He's like, these CBDCs, this control grid, that is nothing more than programmable money. So they're going to track everything that you buy. And if at the beginning of the month, you decide to treat your family to these nice steaks and they were delicious for this holiday weekend, well, if those in control say, this is your allotment based upon the CO2 that those steaks created, and you can't go over a certain allotment during the month, you may be third week of the month and hungry for steaks again. And you go buy steaks and they're declined. You can't buy them because your CBD says so. That is the control bill that I think you were talking about. Yes?
Big brother, over centralization of power.
Yeah. So, Bill,
opposite of what America tried to achieve by separating from Britain. And these people don't know the Constitution. They don't give a twit about the Constitution, and the Constitution's a good document. And the only way we can really do this politically is to adhere to the Constitution. Right.
Why don't they adhere to the Constitution? Why is it so easy?
Because it's popularism. It's decentralization of power. The three branches of government. That's total decentralization of power.
Yeah. So you're telling me our government right now isn't decentralized, Bill?
No, the founding fathers tried to create something that would create a decentralization permanently. Right. Unfortunately, as Franklin said, it's a republic if you can keep it, and we haven't kept it very well. But I mean, we've been subject to a deliberate attacks against it. That's what's going on. And now we have China in the mix doing everything they can to screw it up. And we're in trouble. We're in trouble right now. And we're in trouble for the next 2 years, big time.
What do you think our future looks like the next 2 years, Bill?
It's a total dice gamble. I don't know. It just depends on who can step up to oppose this. I mean, right now we have a narrow margin in Congress, and they're doing the best that they can. But nobody's taken on money. Nobody's taken on money like you guys. I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
This would have been my dream team 2 decades ago. You know, I would never have believed, especially never have believed that it could have been done without me.
But we couldn't do it without you, which is why we just decided, let's bring Bill on a little later after we get after we tweak everything, because he'll dismiss it out of hand if he wouldn't believe us at the beginning.
It's true. I would have gone, I already tried that. It didn't work.
Exactly.
You tried that and it worked. So because you've got a collection of like-minded people who have been in the crypto space. As far as I know, I was the first one to ever try to create a direct link between USD and BTC. Yeah. I took my little $36,000 down to Nassau in the Bahamas, and I met all the big politicos and met the head of their stock exchange and all the people responsible for all that stuff, and got approvals. And then my $36,000 ran out. Wah, wah.
Wow. Did you have to swim back?
No, I managed to get back home.
Okay. Just checking. We care about you. But anyway, so when you think about this and the CBDCs and the stake example that I gave, that's what I love about Mike Adams' forward vision. He's like, look, I want people to be able to buy food privately without being surveilled by the Druid Babylonian bastards. I want them to do that in Epic Cash based upon his in-depth research of all the privacy coins, wins bigly. And that's why he is adamant about Epic Cash being a use case of currency and a medium of exchange, not just hodl, wait for price to go up. No, we need to use this. It is private money. So instead of thinking about it as a private crypto investment, right? Think about it as from a utility standpoint. Start supporting merchants and vendors who accept Epic Cash. We're nowhere where we're going to be in a year. I can't wait. We'll circle back in a year, Bill, and we'll talk about how over the past year, how many merchants have adopted Epic Cash as a form of payment, as the superior money, and why. And we will be astonished. But it starts, one partnership at a time. And that's what Mike Adams has gifted us, is he has bet on us, and he is evangelizing to a large part of the world, Epic Cash. We are so undiscovered at this point in time. I mean, my gosh, we're under a couple bucks. And can you imagine, Bill, knowing what you know now about Bitcoin, knowing that there's a better Bitcoin, that it's under $10. You know where it can go. Not saying it will go there, but smart people like you might be able to conjecture where Epic Cash might be in our future. But all I know is it's private internet cash money, and we should all get some. What do you think, Bill?
You got Jeff Bezos's number?
Yeah.
I'll give him a ring. You want adoption.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. But don't you think that they would be the first ones to resist, because they're controlled by those who control the financial system at bottom? I think all the big corporations are.
I don't know. They might be the weak link in the chain, because he's definitely shown himself to be capitalistically oriented, and he's going to take over as far as wiping out Lowe's and all the little stores, chain stores going around. So, and I was serious. I really think that is the target we should be going for.
Is Amazon
adoption? Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? This is what happens. We get a use case out there. We plan, do, review. That's how you do it. you start ugly, you integrate with a great partner like Mike Adams, who, it's not his first rodeo. He understands tech integration can be a bumpy ride sometime. So, you make it work. And then once it's buzzing, it just propagates and propagates. And after a while, you have a value proposition, a presentation that we could go to Amazon and be able to say, here is our presentation. Let me share with you what the core asset is, an effective form of money. Let me show you where it's implemented, how it works. And at bottom, don't you think, Bill, Epic Cash, for me anyway, is I just don't trust my money, my savings to be in the bank.
Yeah, especially if you were Canadians, you would have already witnessed what they can do.
Exactly. So all of us who have our savings that we're depending upon, first of all, there is an attack on that money from an inflation standpoint and purchasing power. So Mike Adams, and he knows his stuff. His number is 2% a month. So your dollar in the bank is melting at 2% a month in purchasing power. And so he was the one, he said it on my interview with him. He and his wife are moving all of their savings into Epic Cash to be able to
I saw that.
Yeah.
Just today. I was startled. I went, wow.
Yep.
Amazon right now is fueled by millions of little individual people who go and make deals,
Right.
over certain items. And that might be the way to start. Get a few of us to become Amazon, whatever you do. I've never looked into it.
Right.
Become their little distributor, and just if Amazon would allow it, and you could put it across that this is you don't have to take any risk here. Us little guys who are going to try this will take all the risk, and we would accept payment in Epic Cash.
Right. Well, here's the sneaky little back door. Okay. We don't have to be the front runner on that. I'm telling you, Change Now, I love them so much. Change Now, they already have the widgets for these e-commerce sites, these massive e-commerce sites to plug in. They're already in Shopify. So anyone who uses Shopify can just literally turn on, accept crypto, turn on Epic Cash, whatever other coins that you want, and now you're trading it.
Really? So you don't even have to go through Jeff Bezos' approval for a trial run. It's already in place. Wow.
And Change Now has an amazing business development team that are going out there, and it's what they do. It's their day job.
You're not lying, this is wonderful.
You know what? I would encourage you, so that you don't falsely assert I'm lying, folks. I encourage you to, it's only a few videos down, but go to my Change Now with Bassam. Go to that video and watch the whole thing. And I will tell you, that single video is what took Mike Adams from a maybe to a full-on yes. He was like, I had no idea. Oh my God. He said, we don't have to, invent new tech to be able to integrate Epic Cash.
Amazing.
We use Change Now. We integrate Change Now. There are few lines of code. He can enter it right into his shopping cart, and shazam, he is accepting all forms of crypto. So, and so he's not just Epic Cash exclusive, but he is telling his folks that is his preferred privacy crypto coin. While he holds other coins, it's all about Epic Cash for him, because like you said, he really beat up the quest for superior money and all of the attributes and did his own thinking in comparison with all of the other assets. And at the end of the day, he's making the testimony. My wife and I are moving all of our savings into Epic Cash to protect our purchasing value in the future, and purchasing power. I'm sorry. So that's just a big deal.
Yeah, but if you could get the various Amazon distributors, the little people, or take it on ourselves, take individual products and
Yes.
then start accepting Epic, and don't have to go through any filters of Amazon's political stances, whatever they might be.
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Then very low individual risk.
Yeah.
A very decentralized way of adoption. I mean, that just nails it.
Yeah, we're going to nail it. This is going to be the most exciting next 12 months, I think,
agree.
in crypto history.
Unless I'm in a dream, where I wake up and go, oh, darn, that was a dream.
Not a dream, not a dream. If it were a dream, man, I'd be haunting you right now. It would just be like, stop this, shut Uncle V off. So did I tell you that a hot woman told me hello on
yeah, well,
okay.
Don't be dumb.
So all right, I'm looking at my give me the name of the book that you sent me, by the way. Off the top, it's the New World Order book. I want everybody to know Bill was kind enough to send to me this book, original printing, that I now have in my possession, that I am so grateful for. Yes, that's the one. New World Order.
The ancient plan of secret societies.
I loved it. I'm just through the first chapter, but what a powerful chapter it is. It just is like, wow. Every sentence was wow, wow. That connected all these dots for me. So tell me about that book, Bill. And can people get that on Amazon?
Used.
Used.
Sometimes they go for $100 a piece. Sometimes you can find one for 20. There were over 200,000 printed.
Wow. Wow.
Early half of the 1990s.
So that is a collector's item.
Yeah.
And
anyway, the point of the book was that this coup that's going on, the Biden coup, was not the first time this was attempted. It was attempted during the Nixon era.
Okay.
A guy recently has written a book. He was a lawyer in the Nixon administration, and he's trying to resurrect Nixon's reputation, basically, and he's wrong. And he just dismisses, jumps right over the whole coup aspect that happened during the Saturday Night Massacre. And it's a very interesting read. And the reason I know it's true is because my dad was contacted by some of Nixon's White House people and asked if he and other friends of his in the military would be willing to take money to join a coup d'etat, to put Nixon in office for a third term, a unconstitutional third term.
Right.
He was told that there was unlimited money behind the effort, and any military officer that wished to participate could name his price. And that's where it all started. My dad at the time he was the chief scientist of the Minuteman missile system.
Oh,
he was
wow.
educated through all the Air Force technical schools from when he first came in, and so he was in a position to, and they also asked him to join as deputy director of NSA, but he just retired out of the Air Force because there wasn't enough money.
My gosh, you come from good stock, Bill.
Well, he was very, very technically advanced, and so anyway, they needed a guy like him. So that's how come.
Did he say
my dad didn't buy it? He immediately prepared a memorandum which he sent to the FBI and to Defense Intelligence Agency and like that, and that ended up putting the coup off.
Oh my gosh.
But I was the only one to talk about this because I knew I had to learn to be a writer, just because nobody else was going to talk about this coup thing. And so
that's all detailed in that book there.
Yeah, and there was no other support for it anywhere in the reportage world until about 10 years later, when Seymour Hersh came out with his story and said, "Yep, this is all true."
Gosh,
and when he had other top people in the intelligence community verify that that was true. And so,
Bill, that had to be fairly risky by your dad. I mean, these people probably didn't take no well, but they really didn't take, running it up the flagpole, I imagine, no?
yeah, but back then, if you were to take out a top military technical guy, there would be repercussions.
Okay.
And back then they did not own the military. And so I thought, well, as long as we've still got the military filled with patriots, we're okay. But now they've gone after that too.
I mean,
now we're really in trouble. There's no major force to really stop Biden.
I really felt the pivot in this world, frankly, during that first term of Obama. And I am kind of ashamed to say I voted for him the first term, certainly not the second.
Very bold of you to say.
Yeah, I back then I didn't do that critical thinking thing very well. It was just more what CNN tells me. I didn't look at them as anything other than 24-hour news, and I hadn't woken up yet. But then when I saw that they were having our military march in red high heels, I was like, that was the point for me that I'm like, something is possessed, something is possessed in that administration to have that kind of I don't know what's the word for it. It's just like so insulting, man. I couldn't believe my eyes. What do you think about it?
What can I say? They've taken over, and the real tough guys, the real smart guys are all gone now. And
right. It's so converged.
There's a sufficient remnant, and I don't want to go pointing fingers at where that might be, but hopefully there's sufficient remnants. So once we get them out of office, Trump can rebuild it.
Okay, so you're bullish on our future?
On our future?
No, yeah,
it's a coin flip to me.
Okay. Okay. So, Bill, I know we're getting close to being done. I want to ask you the question I have asked myself in my own head lots of times when I look out at this world, when I look out at the monetary system, the controllers, and I ask, where are the white hats? I see a whole lot of bad and a whole lot of evil, but I really am having a difficult time identifying any of the white hats out there that are fighting back. It just seems like everything is converged and everybody caves, and this pandemic was evidence of that, I believe. What are your thoughts? Are there any white hats out there, or is everybody
there are, and they're doing good work. I mean,
okay.
Jim Jordan at Congress and people like that, you just can't do anything but send them medals, and they're trying to do their best under these conditions.
Okay. So all the people in government aren't sold out?
All the people are not sold out. That's correct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There is a remnant there, and all we can try to do is make it until Biden leaves under one circumstance or another. There's now been articles of impeachment that have been put before Congress, and with only 10 to 20 backers so far, but that's got to grow.
I hope so, because then Kamala Harris will be president, and wow, it'll be great, right? Kidding. I'm kidding. I would cackle right now, but I don't want to, I don't want to ruin what was otherwise, I think, a really great interview. But so
God is still in control.
That's right.
Not through with this country yet. Somehow, some way, we're going to make it through to the end, because end time day is not here yet. Of course, no man can know the hour, but
right.
God, my personal thing, I believe in the Holy Spirit. I live by the Holy Spirit, and
I do too.
The Holy Spirit tells me that we're still. It's for yet another generation to fight.
I love that. I enjoy your enthusiasm on that and positive outlook. And I would just say one of my favorite lines, which is, especially when you're going through struggling times, God is never late, but he's rarely early. And I think we're kind of in that phase right now, wouldn't you say?
Very good.
Yeah. Well, very good from Bill Still. I mean, I think I need to wrap it up because it doesn't get any better than that. Bill, you have been a fantastic guest. Would you please share with everyone again how they can know more about you? BillStill.com. And what would your counsel be to anyone watching right now if, out of all of the content you created, what would you suggest they focus on as a good first step of going down the Bill Still rabbit hole?
The Money Masters.
Okay. And the Money Masters documentary, you can find that on YouTube. Just search for Bill Still Money Masters. And how many different
I don't think you can find it on YouTube anymore.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Not legally, that's, I didn't even know that you could monetize when I started on YouTube 16 years ago. And it took me at least half of that time, 8 years, before I understood that you could monetize it. So these people were all putting up the Money Masters and making tons of money off of it, and I didn't make a penny.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That makes sense.
The IMDb, International Movie Database, has said the Money Masters is consistently the 12th to 15th best documentary ever produced.
That's amazing. It is really
nothing from it.
It's
probably had 100 million views. I've made maybe $5,000 totally.
100 million views, everyone. It is God's work that you've done. And I think there is discussion that if the stars and moons align, that there might be a Money Masters 2 that takes it from where you left off and gets into.
No, I wouldn't take it from where I left off. I just try to synopsize, squeeze it down about half, so that you can't. That history is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
To understanding what's going on, because this has happened before. We can do it again because we've done it before. The very founding of this country was based on this.
Yeah. Right.
And, everybody thinks it started with the USD. It didn't.
Yep.
It started with the US note.
Yes. Yes. So based upon history teaching us, it is not out of the question, everyone, that if a lot of people agree that Epic Cash is the right currency, that just rhymed, it has all of the positive attributes to be superior money. And so you're with the right project at the right time. Frankly, I say this a lot. I'm really glad I came to the crypto party late so that I'm not blinded by, confirmation bias of if it's not Bitcoin, it's a shit coin. I'm really glad I have an open mind because I really do believe that we are the future and of finance. I think it's financial freedom for the masses. And it's folks like you and Mike Adams who are waking up to that fact, who are going to be excellent evangelists in your own right because you've done your own work. And I'm just grateful that you've invested an hour with our community. And Bill, I hope our community goes and supports you. I know I am. After this afternoon, I'm going to go on BillStill.com and I'm going to see what I can get or buy or whatever to support you, because you've done amazing work and you mean a lot to all of us, Bill.
Well, I do want to remake the Money Masters because it was produced with the nastiest, cheapest little video camera, and we'd go into the Bank of England. We knew we were going to get arrested, and so we'd film 10 minutes, and then we'd take the tape out and replace it and hide it, and then film some more. But it turned out that those guys really liked us, and I couldn't believe that. And I said, the head of the thing was called John Keyworth. And I said, John, how come you've let me in here 3 times? And he said, because you're the only one who's asked.
Wow. That's
For
amazing.
the tally stick segments. So
That's
those
amazing.
things are popular. It has to be brought up to standards so it doesn't look like it was created in the dark ages. So yeah, that'll be a good thing.
That's crazy. Well, I have something crazy going on. Before you go, I just have to do something because I lost entirely my mouse. It's stuck on my prompter here. So I'm just got to shut off my prompter. This is just weird. Never happened to me before in my life. So
I'll tell the audience, you guys are, this is the core group that I would have loved to have had 20 years ago. You're on the right page. You're devoting a lot of technical expertise in the right direction, and just keep on going. I'll do what I can.
Well, thank you, Bill. And I'm going to be up here right now. Let's see if I get my mouse back. I sure did. Thank you. Sorry about that, everyone. It's just weird. That goes in the weird category. But thank you. Those were kind words. And I'd love to have you back. And everybody, please, Bill still is in Epic Cash community. Okay. Can we get that tip bot going today? I'll start. Right after this call, I'm going in, Bill. I'm going to start the party, but I want everybody who's watching this, please, if you value my content, if you value my guests, let's support our guests so we can continue to get amazing people like Bill on. So, and it's Bill 4. If you put B at tip, however much, at Bill, and then the number 4, he'll pop right up. Okay, good. Well, let's get the party started. And I hope you and your lovely wife and your family have a wonderful holiday weekend, Bill. And
it's Bill 4224.
Bill 4224. That's easy to remember, everyone. But if you just put in Bill and the number 4, he'll pop up. He'll pop right up.
Nothing's easy to remember.
Okay. All right, Bill. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, thank you.
Happy Memorial Day.